Hello everyone, welcome back to the session. Let's dive into. Today we are going to perform one more task. In this task we are going to create a sample HTML file in Amazon Linux server, and we are going to write a Docker file, and I have terminated that particular instance, so I am going to write a new Docker file in this session. In this session we are going to launch the Apache 2 service in the container, and we are going to replace the default index HTML page with our sample one. This is how we can deploy our projects which are written in HTML. If we copy that particular HTML file into the directory, it will replace the web browser page with whatever the HTML code that we have provided. So without any ado, we will jump into the session. So first, I have already connected to the server, and I have launched, I have installed Docker and all. And now I am going to do, uh, now I am going to create a sample HTML file. Let's say the command to create HTML file is vi index.html, vi index.html. So my file name is HTML file name as index. I have googled some of the sample HTML code. Here what it will do, it will uh, the title, it will show the title name as my first web page, and with an heading element like welcome to my website, and we have a paragraph element that is this is a paragraph of the text on my new web page. This is something, some reference is also there. So this is a sample HTML code that I'm going to deploy it in my new container. So I'm going to insert the code. It's done. I have saved the file. Let's cat index.html. Okay, now it's fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a Docker file, vi. As in previous session, I already mentioned how to create a Docker file. Docker file is something which won't have any extension, and always the Docker file name should be Docker file only. So vi Docker file. In Docker file, what we need to do is we need to provide the image from which we want to image name from which we want to launch the container. I am going to use Ubuntu, and once the image has been downloaded, what are the commands that we are going to run is we are going to update the container apt update. Post that we need to install Apache 2 packages, install Apache 2 -y. This will install Apache 2 package into our container. Now what we are going to do is we are going to copy our local index.html into the remote container. The argument for that is copy. Copy is something which will copy the local files or local programmable binaries into the remote container. Since it is in the current directory, I'm not going to give the directory. I'm going to give the file name itself, index.html. If you want to copy all the content in your file, if you give copy space dot, means it will copy all the files which are in the local directory, I mean present directory, which will be copying into the remote container, into the path, whatever the path you are going to provide. This Apache 2 service web page, the welcome page will be stored in where www.www/html. In this directory, this default index.html will be storing. So I'm going to replace my particular index.html into the remote container. This is the command for that. I will provide all the commands in the description. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch the Apache 2 service. I'm going to start the Apache 2 service. Apache CTL. I'm going to run it on foreground. Foreground. I hope no typos are there. Apache 2 CTL foreground. Yeah, it's perfect. So I'm going to save the file. I have saved the file. Let's just cross verify that. Dokcerfile. Now it has been saved. Now I am going to build the image of the from this Docker file. The command to build is sudo docker build -t, from which directory, since it is a present directory, Docker file is present in the present directory, working directory. So I'm going to give dot. I'm going to give the name like image1. This will be the image name. Oh, sorry. Sudo docker build type build. Since it is present in the current directory, I am going to give dot. Here we are going to give the tag as image1. Previously we have kept the tag before and gave the docker directory next, so it was showing an error. Now it will work. So it is going to launch the image out of all the configurations that we have provided. Once it is launched, it will launch. We will create the container out of it, and we will see what is the welcome page that we are getting when we give the public IP. So here it is clearly saying running apt install apache 2-y. It is going to install Apache 2 service in our local container. Mm. Here these steps are completed. If you see here, step 2, run apt update is completed, apt install is completed, and the file has been copied into this particular directory. Yeah, everything is done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch the container out of it. Sudo docker run -dat -p. On port number 80 only I am going to launch the container. Let's say the name of the container is contain from the image -1. From this image we are going to launch. So the container has been created. This is the instance that I am using. This is the public IP of that particular image. I am going to give HTTP see whatever the content that is there in sample HTML, my first web page, welcome to my website. The same thing has been mentioned over here, welcome to my first web page. So whatever the code that we have passed to the container, that is visible here. So our task has been completed. Replace the HTML. So this has been completed. I hope you have learned something from this session. Please do like and subscribe. In case of any queries, please comment down below. I will reply every comment which has been commented in the commented box. Thank you all.